You guys, come in, sit down, shut the laptop, mute your group chat, and put your hand on your heart because what I am about to tell you is going to send you. Tasha K's own lawyer just got dragged into a federal courtroom and got smacked with sanctions because, baby, this man was out here filing legal motions with fake court cases that don't even exist on planet Earth. We are talking AI-generated, completely made up, hallucinated by a chatbot, never been ruled on by a judge, never been argued by a human, never even happened cases, okay? And Cardi B's legal team pulled up the receipts on the receipts queen, the girl who built her entire empire screaming, "I got the receipts," in every video she ever made. The girl who told a whole jury under oath that her sources were ironclad. That girl's defense team just got caught letting a robot do their homework. And not just a little homework, a federal-level bankruptcy court, on-the-record Lisa more on her neck kind of homework. And I need you to listen because this is not gossip. This is not the streets talking. This is the actual court docket. This is in the official filings out of the Southern District of Florida. And Cardi B's attorney literally wrote in writing that the citation Tasha K's lawyer relied on, quote, does not exist. Does not exist, y'all. The case is a ghost. The case is a phantom. The case is a figment of a robot's imagination. And the icing on the entire cake, the whipped cream, the cherry, the little gold sprinkle on top, is that Cardi B is sitting at home in her silk robe, eating breakfast, laughing. Not crying, not stressed, not anxious, laughing. Because she has been telling y'all for years that this woman moves grimy. And now the universe has handed her the most expensive comeuppance in the history of YouTube blogger karma. Let's get into it because the layers on this onion are giving Vidalia, and I am cutting every single one with you. Okay, first of all, if you are new here, hit subscribe because I cover all of this mess. Let me set the table for the people that just walked into the function. Cardi B, real name Belcalis Almanzar, has been in a war with this blogger Tasha K, real name Latasha Transrina Keba, since basically 2018. In 2022, a federal jury looked at Tasha K, looked at the recordings, looked at the videos and said, "Ma'am, you defamed this woman with malice," and they awarded Cardi B somewhere in the neighborhood of $4 million. $4 million. With a B as in Belcalis. Tasha K appealed, the appeal got denied, she tried to take it to the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court basically said girl bye, and then she filed for bankruptcy to try to make that judgment disappear like a David Blaine card trick. Spoiler alert, it did not disappear. The bankruptcy court reorganized her debt, made her sign a non-disparagement agreement, which in regular human English means you cannot talk slick about this woman or her family on the internet, on a podcast, in a Walmart parking lot, in a dream, in a haiku, nowhere. You signed it. You agreed to it. The court has it. Done. And what did this woman do as soon as the ink was dry? She got right back on her podcast and started talking about Offset, talking about Stefan Diggs, talking about the kids, the lifestyle, the money, the everything. And Cardi was watching. Honey, Cardi was clocking every single post like she was a Bureau of Labor Statistics employee filling out a timesheet. And then Cardi did what Cardi does best. She called Lisa Moore, her attorney, the one who tied up the original case with a bow. And Lisa said, say less. Now here is where the story stops being a normal celebrity petty drama and starts becoming a Netflix limited series with 3 writing credits and a Yara Shahidi voiceover. Cardi B's legal team files a brand new motion in federal bankruptcy court, the Southern District of Florida, case number 123 BK 14304. Look it up, it's public, you can read every word with your own eyes. And in that motion Cardi's team lists, not 1, not 2, not 5, not 10, 25 separate violations of the non-disparagement agreement. 25. Y'all, that's not a slip of the tongue. That's not oops, my finger slipped on the post button. That's a pattern. That is what a federal court calls a course of conduct. And here is the part that had me hollering in my kitchen at 6 in the morning with toothpaste still on my chin. Cardi's team specifically points out that Tasha K has been referring to Cardi as #11 in her posts. Number 11. Because Cardi's last single, in her view, peaked at number 11 on the Billboard chart. So instead of saying her name, she'd been calling her number 11 like Cardi is a contestant on Squid Game. Y'all, the level of pettiness in that one detail alone deserves an Emmy. Because legally you can argue, I never said her name. I said number 11. That could be anybody. That could be a bingo number. That could be my favorite Lakers player. But the court and Cardi's lawyers are not stupid. They said, ma'am, your audience of over 1 million followers knows exactly who number 11 is. The intent is there. The harassment is there. The pattern is there. And we are not playing this little juvenile rebus puzzle with you in 2026. Hold on. Because I haven't even gotten to the AI part yet and I am already heated. Let me pour some water. Okay, so Tasha K's legal team, led by an attorney named Chad T. Van Horn, write the name down, this is now part of legal history. Chad files a response to Cardi B's motion. And in a response brief, what do attorneys do? They cite case law. They say, Your Honor, in such and such versus such and such, the court ruled this way. And so the same logic should apply here. That is how lawyering works. You cite previous cases as precedent. It is the entire foundation of the American legal system. You cannot just walk into court and say, Trust me, bro. You have to back it up with cases that real judges actually decided. So Chad files his response, he drops in his citations, he probably hit send and went to get a coconut latte feeling like Johnny Cochran in 1995. And then Lisa Moore on Cardi's team sits down to read the response. And Lisa, being Lisa, does not just take Chad's word for it. Lisa goes to look up the cases, because that is what real lawyers do. They verify. And one of the cases Chad cited, it is not in any legal database. Not on Westlaw. Not on LexisNexis. Not on Google Scholar. Not on the back of a Cheerios box. The case simply does not exist. It has never existed. There is no docket. There are no parties. There is no judge. There is no opinion. It is a ghost case. A phantom. A myth. A tall tale. And Lisa Moore, like the surgical sniper she is, writes in her reply, and I am quoting from the actual filing, using fake and hallucinated cases casts a shadow of invalidity on the judicial process. Ms. Almanzar does not presume to know whether this citation was generated through AI assistance or some other mechanism. What she does know is that it does not exist. End quote. In career. In reputation. In story. You guys. The word hallucinated. She used the word hallucinated. In a federal filing. Because that is the technical term for what AI chatbots do when they make stuff up. They hallucinate. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, all of them, when they don't know an answer, they will confidently invent a citation, a name, a date, a case, and present it like it is real. Lawyers across the country have been getting busted for this for like 2 years now. A lawyer in New York got fined $5,000. A lawyer in Massachusetts got sanctioned. A lawyer in California just got hit with a historic fine after 21 out of 23 citations in his brief turned out to be fake. And now Tasha K's lawyer just walked his client into that same buzzsaw. And the judge, the federal bankruptcy judge, looked at this filing, looked at the hallucinated case, looked at Chad and said, Sir, we are going to have to talk about your conduct. And reports out of the docket and from people close to the case say Chad T. Van Horn was sanctioned. The attorney was sanctioned. Not Tasha K herself. Not yet on this specific issue, but her attorney. The man she is paying, well, allegedly paying, we'll get to her GoFundMe in a second. The man she is paying to defend her just got publicly punished by a federal judge for filing fake AI cases in her defense. Now let's pause and breathe because the streets are saying things, and the streets are not always wrong. The streets are saying, how did this even happen? Was it Chad? Was it a paralegal? Was it a first-year associate trying to look smart in front of his boss? Was it Tasha herself sliding into ChatGPT at 2 in the morning saying, Yo, write me a legal argument that lets me keep talking about Offset? Because honestly, I would not put it past anybody at this point. The streets are also saying, and this is the read that hit me the hardest, this is the universe rebalancing itself in real time. Because think about it with me, really think about it, sit with it for a second. Tasha K built her entire blogging empire on the idea that she had insider sources. Untouchable sources. Sources nobody else had. Sources she would protect with her life. And in the original Cardi B defamation trial, her downfall was that recording of her on the phone with a friend basically admitting that she didn't care if what she was saying was true. She was going to say it anyway because Cardi could afford therapy. That recording, that one recording, is what crossed the actual malice line and cost her $4 million. Now, fast forward to 2026, and the same woman is back in court, and this time her downfall is a robot lied for her. A robot made up a court case. A robot hallucinated a citation, and her lawyer didn't bother to check. Y'all, if this is not the most poetic, full circle, what goes around comes around story I have heard all year, then I do not know what is. The receipts queen got taken out by fake receipts. The blogger who screams my sources, my sources, my sources got taken out by a source, the robot, that literally made the receipts up. And the funniest part, the part that I cannot stop thinking about, is that somewhere in a courthouse in Miami, there is a federal judge who probably had to Google what AI hallucination even means before writing the sanctions order. Because these judges, bless their hearts, half of them still use Hotmail. And here they are now, on the front lines of legal AI ethics. That is where we are in 2026. We are letting Hotmail judges decide the future of artificial intelligence in court. God help us all. Okay, hold on, let me get back on track because the streets, it's a doozy. Let's talk about why Cardi B is laughing because I have it on very good authority from a source very, very close to the situation. And you know I am not naming names, but you know I know what I know. Cardi B is not just laughing. Cardi B is operating at peak Bronx tactician energy right now. Because here is the chess game that the average viewer is missing. Tasha K still owes Cardi the $4 million from 2022. With interest, that number is probably closer to 5, maybe 5.5 by now. Tasha K filed bankruptcy to try to get out of paying. The bankruptcy court basically said, okay, we will let you reorganize, but you have to follow these rules, non-disparagement, payment plan, the whole nine. Tasha K has allegedly been violating those rules left and right. And every single violation, every single one of those 25 posts, gives Cardi B's team ammunition to go back to the court and say, Your Honor, this woman is not acting in good faith. Reinstate the full judgment. Add sanctions. Add attorney's fees. Add penalties. And get this. There are reports floating around that a judge has already reportedly reinstated the $4 million debt. Tasha K herself supposedly went on her own platform and said, quote, "We lost the war. We lost the war." From her own mouth. So while everyone is over here watching the celebrity beef like it's WWE, Cardi B is quietly, methodically, surgically dismantling this woman's financial existence through the federal court system. And every time Tasha K opens her mouth about Offset, about Stefan, about Cardi's family, she is handing Cardi a fresh new bullet to load into the gun. It is the slowest, most legally sanctioned drive-by in American history. And I am here for every second of it. Now let me read you something real quick because I want you guys to see the actual language Cardi's team used in their filing. They said Tasha K has engaged in a, quote, "unabated pattern of deliberate, calculated, and contumacious violations." Contumacious. Look that word up. I had to look it up. Contumacious means stubbornly disobedient to authority. That is not a word your average drafter throws into a motion. That is a word you use when you want the judge to understand this is not a mistake. This is not a misunderstanding. This is a person who is intentionally, repeatedly, knowingly thumbing her nose at a federal court order. They also said she is operating with a, quote, "delusional belief that the law does not apply to her," and that she is trying to weaponize the settlement as a, quote, "revenue-generating business model." Read that again. Cardi's lawyers are accusing Tasha K of using the very lawsuit that is supposed to punish her as a way to make money. Because every time she posts something inflammatory about Cardi or Offset, what happens? Views go up. Engagement goes up. Sponsors swoop in. Donations to her GoFundMe go up. Yes, you heard me right, she has a GoFundMe. To pay off the judgment from a lawsuit she lost for defaming a Grammy winner. And Cardi's team called that GoFundMe out by name in the filing, said it was, quote, "specifically meant to frame Ms. Almanzar as a financial antagonist and incite public sympathy." Y'all, the audacity. The whole entire audacity. Imagine suing someone, losing the case, owing them millions, and then starting a GoFundMe so the public can donate money to help you not pay them. That is like robbing a bank, getting convicted, and then asking the customers of the bank to chip in for your bail. The math is not matting. The ethics are not ethicing. And Cardi is sitting in the corner, sipping her tea, watching the karma queue up like cars at a Chick-fil-A drive-thru on a Sunday. Let me play one more game of make-believe with you because this is where it gets really juicy. This is where I want you to use your imagination with me. Let's imagine, hypothetically, that you are Tasha K's lawyer. You are Chad T. Van Horn. You are sitting at your desk. It is late. The office is empty. You can hear the hum of the refrigerator in the break room. You have to write a response to Cardi B's motion. The motion has 25 exhibits, 25 posts. Some of them are clear violations. Some of them are gray area. You need to come up with a legal argument that justifies your client's behavior under the non-disparagement clause. You need precedent. You need case law. You are tired. You are billing by the hour but the client is broke. Your paralegal just quit. You have a Zoom hearing at 3. You think to yourself, you know what, let me just plug this into one of these AI tools, see what it spits out, polish it up and file it. How bad could it be? It's just a quick research helper, right? And the AI gives you a perfect sounding, perfectly formatted citation. The case name has a real sounding judge. The year is recent. The court is plausible. The holding is exactly what you needed. You don't check. You don't have time to check. You're a busy man, Chad. You file. You hit send. You close the laptop. You go home. You sleep. And then a Grammy winner's legal team. A legal team that has been hunting your client for 8 years, that has the budget of a small country, and that has nothing better to do than verify every single citation in your brief. They find the citation. They check it. It does not exist. And now you are not just Chad Van Horn, attorney at law. You are Chad Van Horn, the cautionary tale that gets cited in every continuing legal education seminar for the next 20 years about why you do not let a chatbot write your federal court motions. Your name is now part of legal history, but not in the way you wanted. You wanted to be the guy who took down Cardi B's lawyers. Now you are the guy whose face shows up in PowerPoint slides at bar association lunches under a slide that says, "Do not be this guy." That is your legacy now. A robot did this to you. A free robot. With a $5 a month subscription option. Sleep tight, Chad. Sleep tight. But here is what nobody is talking about, and this is the part one really wants you to sit with, because this is the layer underneath the layer, the secret door behind the secret door. We are living through a moment where artificial intelligence is invading every single profession at the same time. Doctors are using it to write notes. Teachers are using it to grade essays. Writers are using it to draft scripts. Lawyers clearly are using it to draft briefs. And every single one of those professions is finding out in real time on the public record what happens when you trust a robot more than your own training. The Massachusetts lawyer got sanctioned. The New York lawyer got fined. The California lawyer got hit with a historic penalty after almost his entire brief turned out to be AI fiction. And now we have a federal bankruptcy court in Florida, in a case involving one of the most famous women in the music industry, drawing a very public line in the sand. And the line is, if you let a robot lie for you in this courtroom, we are going to make an example out of you. And Cardi B, of all people, is the unintentional patron saint of this new legal era. Cardi B, the woman who started on reality TV, the woman who got laughed at when she said she was going to pursue a music career, the woman who clapped back at every blogger, every troll, every hater. That same woman is now the named creditor in a federal case that is going to be taught in law schools, as the moment AI hallucinations cost a defense attorney his career. If you had told me in 2016 that this is where we would end up, I would have asked you what kind of mushroom you ate. But here we are. Earth 1. The timeline got weird. Now I want to put my investigator hat on for a second, because something in the back of my head will not let this go. Let me ask the question that nobody else is asking. Where did the AI case actually come from? Because here is what I have been thinking about all morning. There are basically three possibilities. Possibility 1, Chat himself sat down, opened ChatGPT, asked for case law, didn't verify, and filed it. That is the boring answer. That is the lazy answer. That is malpractice 101. Possibility 2, somebody on Chat's staff did it. A paralegal, a young associate, an intern. They did the research, Chat reviewed it, didn't catch it, signed off. That is still malpractice, but it spreads the blame. Possibility 3, and this is the one that has my brain itching, Tasha K herself fed Chad the cases. Hear me out. Because we know this woman is hands-on. We know this woman is a content creator who lives inside her own narrative. And we know that ChatGPT and AI tools are absolutely all over the influencer space right now. Influencers use AI for captions, for thumbnails, for scripts, for outlines, for everything. Is it really that hard to imagine a scenario where Tasha K, in a moment of frustration with her lawyer, said, "Hey Chad, I did some research on my own, let me send you these cases I found?" And Chad, trusting his client, plugged them into the brief without verifying? Because if that is what happened, then this is not just a malpractice story. This is a story about a client sabotaging her own attorney with hallucinated AI research. I am not saying that is what happened. I am saying the streets are whispering, and I am repeating what the streets are whispering. Do with that information what you will. And let's not forget, because we are talking about Tasha K, we are also indirectly talking about her husband, Chikna Kebe. Cardi B's legal team has been making moves against him too. There are reports of a brand new federal lawsuit involving the husband, separate filings, separate strategy, and the legal commentators are calling it a pincer movement. From the front, Cardi B is going after Tasha for the original judgment, for the disparagement, for the sanctions, for the works. From the side, she is going after the husband for whatever assets they may have been moving around to dodge collection. And Tasha and Chikna are in the middle going, "Ma'am, who hurt you?" Because at this point Cardi is not just suing Tasha K. She is dismantling the entire Kebe business empire. And the regular gossip channels are not connecting these dots, but I am. I see what is happening. This is not a beef. This is a campaign. This is a war of attrition. And Cardi has more bullets than Tasha has armor. Now let me get into something that the comment section keeps asking me about, because I see y'all asking and I want to address it. People keep saying, "Tisa, why is Cardi B going so hard? Tasha is just a blogger." And I want to push back on that gently, because I think people misunderstand what Cardi is doing. Cardi B is not going hard because she is petty, although she is petty, and God bless her for it. Cardi B is going hard because she understands something most celebrities don't. She understands that if you let one blogger get away with defamation, the next blogger watches. And the next blogger sees what happened. And the next blogger calculates, hey, if I say something crazy I might get sued, but if I have a big enough audience and I plead bankruptcy and I run a GoFundMe, I can probably survive it. And so the deterrence is gone. The fear is gone. And then every blogger becomes Tasha K. And Cardi understands that. So when she goes hard on Tasha, she is sending a message to every other person with a camera and a YouTube channel and an opinion about her. Do not test me. Do not try me. Because I will spend my own money making your life expensive forever. And I will not stop. I will not get tired. I will not lose interest. I will not move on. I will keep filing motions until your great-grandchildren are still dealing with the lien on the family home. That is the energy. And honestly, respect. Because most celebrities don't have the spine to fight that long. They settle, they pay people off, they sign NDAs, they move on. Cardi doesn't move on. Cardi files. And while we are on the topic, can we talk about Lisa Moore for a second? Because the real MVP of this entire saga is not Cardi B, it is not Tasha K, it is Lisa Moore. Lisa Moore is Cardi B's attorney. And Lisa Moore is operating like she came out of the womb with a JD in her hand. The drafting in these filings is surgical. The strategy is patient. The use of language is precise. When Lisa Moore writes that a citation casts a shadow of invalidity on the judicial process, she is not just making a legal argument, she is writing the kind of line that gets quoted in law review articles for the next decade. When she invokes the word contumacious, she is telegraphing to the judge that this is not a normal contempt situation, this is a deliberate, extended, willful pattern of defiance that needs serious consequences. Lisa Moore is cooking. Lisa Moore is the chef. And every chef needs a great client, which is why this works. Cardi gives her the green light to be aggressive, gives her the budget to be thorough, and gives her the trust to make the calls. That is what a real client-attorney relationship looks like. Most attorneys are out here babysitting clients who lie to them, hide evidence, and don't show up to depositions. Lisa Moore has a client who pays on time, listens to her advice, and lets her work. That is rare. And the results speak for themselves. Hold on, my doorbell. Sorry, y'all. Okay, where were we? Right, the broader implications. Because this whole mess is not just about Cardi and Tasha. This is going to set a precedent. When a federal judge sanctions an attorney for filing AI-generated fake cases in a high-profile celebrity bankruptcy case, that ruling does not stay in that one case. That ruling gets cited. That ruling gets referenced. That ruling becomes part of the body of law that every other judge looks at when they have to deal with the next AI-hallucinated brief. And there will be a next one, and another one after that, and another one after that. Because AI tools are not going away. They are getting more popular, more integrated, more invisible. Most law firms in 2026 are quietly using AI for research. They just have to make sure they verify everything before it goes in front of a judge. And after this Tasha K case, the verification standard just got a lot higher. Because every judge in America is now on alert. Every opposing counsel in America is now on alert. Every Bar Association ethics committee in America is now on alert. The era of just trust the AI is over. The era of verify or perish has begun. And Cardi B and Lisa Moore are the unintentional architects of the new normal. Wild. And listen, I want to say one more thing about the timing of all this because the timing is suspicious to me, and I have not heard anybody else point it out. This sanctions ruling is dropping at exactly the same time that the original Tasha K versus Cardi B trial is in the news again because of new appellate developments. Same week. Same news cycle. Same hashtag. And the algorithm is feeding it all together, so when somebody types Tasha K into a search bar, the first thing they see is attorney-sanctioned fake AI cases, contempt, 25 violations for $1 million debt reinstated, husband sued separately. That is not an accident. That is what happens when a celebrity legal team understands media, as well as they understand the law. Cardi's people are timing these filings like a Beyoncé album rollout. Drop the motion on a Monday so the cycle peaks Wednesday so the streaming services and the gossip channels and the legal commentators all dogpile on Thursday. By Friday, every black woman in America has heard about it. Every law student has seen it on TikTok. Every bar association has sent out a memo. That is the strategy. That is the choreography. And Tasha K, in my opinion, is not ready for this level of warfare. She came up in the blog era where you could say anything, dodge the consequences, and disappear into the next news cycle. That world is gone. The internet remembers now. The federal courts have lawyers who scroll Twitter. The judges have grandkids who watch YouTube. The walls of separation that used to protect bloggers are crumbling. And Cardi B is the wrecking ball that's been knocking them down brick by brick. And the deeper I look at this whole entire saga, the more I realize none of this is random. None of this is petty. None of this is what it looks like on the surface. This is a generational legal moment masquerading as a celebrity feud, and we are all watching it unfold in real time with our popcorn in one hand and our phones in the other. So if you take nothing else from this video, take this: pay attention to who is winning, not just who is loud. Loud lasts a week. Winning lasts forever. Okay, so now the question on everybody's lips, the question that has my comments going crazy on every other video. is, what happens next? What happens to Tasha K now? Can Cardi B finish her off? Is there a knockout punch coming? Let me give you my best read based on what I have seen, what I have heard, and what the streets are whispering. First of all, the sanctions against the attorney are bad, but they are not the end of the world for Tasha K personally. An attorney getting sanctioned is more of a professional embarrassment for the lawyer than it is a knockout blow for the client. However, it does tell the judge something very important. It tells the judge that Tasha K's side is not operating in good faith. It tells the judge that her defense is, at best, sloppy and at worst, deceptive. And in a bankruptcy case where you are trying to convince the court that you deserve mercy, sloppy and deceptive are the last two words you want associated with your name. Second, the 25 violations of the non-disparagement agreement are a much bigger deal than the AI cases, because each violation can carry its own sanction. Cardi's team is asking the court to impose financial penalties for each one, plus attorney's fees, plus an order forcing Tasha K to immediately stop. If the judge grants even half of what they are asking for, Tasha K is looking at hundreds of thousands of additional dollars on top of what she already owes. Third, and this is the one nobody is paying attention to, the bankruptcy court can revoke her bankruptcy protection entirely if it finds she has been acting in bad faith. If that happens, all of the protection she got, the payment plan, the reorganization, all of it goes away, and the full $4+ million judgment comes due. Immediately. With interest. With fees. With penalties. And at that point we are talking about the kind of financial situation where you start auctioning off cars, jewelry, real estate, future earnings, the rights to your YouTube channel, everything. And let me tell you what I think Cardi B is going to do. Because I have watched this woman for almost a decade now, and I know how she moves. She is not going to let this go. She is going to keep filing. She is going to keep documenting. Every single post, every single podcast clip, every single sideways comment is going into a folder labeled Exhibit. And every 6 months, that folder is going to walk itself into a courthouse and slap Tasha K's bankruptcy plan in the face. Cardi has the money. Cardi has the lawyers. Cardi has the time. And Cardi has the receipts. Real receipts, court-stamped receipts, not AI-hallucinated receipts. And the deeper truth is, this is not even about the money for Cardi anymore. The $4 million is a Tuesday for her. The legal fees are a rounding error. What this is about, in my opinion, is the principle. Cardi B has built her entire career on the idea that she came from nothing. She worked hard, she made it, and she will not be disrespected. And to her, Tasha K is the embodiment of every blogger, every gossip site, every comment section that ever called her ratchet, called her uneducated, called her unworthy. So she is not just suing for damages. She is suing for legacy. She is saying 10 years from now, when somebody Googles Tasha K, the first thing they are going to find is the case where she got obliterated by my lawyers, by my receipts, and by her own lawyers' fake robot citations. That is the level she is operating on. And Tasha K, with respect, brought a butter knife to a stealth bomber fight. Now, am I saying Tasha K is 100% done? No, I'm not saying that. People bounce back. Audiences forget. The news cycle moves on. Tasha has a loyal fan base, she has a podcast, she has a following, and she has shown over the years that she is willing to keep fighting even when the cards are stacked against her. But I am saying that the position she is in right now is the worst position I have ever seen her in. The original 2022 verdict was bad. The appeals being denied was worse. The bankruptcy was an L. But this is a different category of L. Because this is not just losing a case. This is losing a case where your own lawyer got publicly sanctioned for filing fake AI material. That is a story that is going to follow her, follow Chad, follow her firm, follow her brand, for the rest of her career. Every time someone writes an article about her from this point forward, the phrase "whose attorney was sanctioned for using AI-generated fake cases" is going to be a sentence in the second paragraph. Forever. You cannot scrub that. You cannot bury it. You cannot pay to remove it. It is in the federal court record. It is on Court Listener. It is on Reddit. It is on Instagram. It is on YouTube. It is in every drama channel's mouth. It is in mine. And by tomorrow, it is going to be on every legal commentator's channel from here to Los Angeles. The cat is out of the bag is on fire, and the fire is on the front page of TMZ. So what do we, the people watching this from our couches with our wigs slightly crooked and our coffee getting cold, what do we take away from this whole mess? I think there are 3 big lessons, and then I am going to let you go because this video is already going to be a beast. Lesson 1. If you sign a non-disparagement agreement, do not, under any circumstance, get on a podcast and start talking sideways about the person you signed it about. Even if you think you are being slick. Even if you are using nicknames. Even if you are using numbers. Even if you are using emojis. The judge can read. The judge knows what #11 means. The judge has Wi-Fi. The judge has clerks who scroll Instagram on their lunch break. You are not slick. You are not getting away with it. Stop. Lesson 2. If you are a lawyer in 2026, and you are using AI to draft your filings, for the love of God, verify your citations. Read every case you cite. Pull it up in Westlaw with your own 2 hands. Because the moment a federal judge catches you with a hallucinated case, your career is over. There is no coming back from that. The Bar Association is watching. Other judges are watching. Future clients are watching. And opposing counsel, especially opposing counsel with a celebrity client and a budget, they will find it. They will find every single one. Lesson 3, and this is the big one, the one I want you to tattoo on the inside of your eyelids. Cardi B is not the one. She has never been the one. She is not now the one. She is not ever going to be the one. You do not poke this woman. You do not test this woman. You do not assume this woman is just a rapper who is going to get tired of the lawsuit and move on. She does not get tired. She does not move on. She files. She wins. She refiles. She wins again. And she sips her tea while she does it. The Bronx made her a fighter. The industry made her a strategist. And the lawyers she hired made her a federal court regular. Respect it. Okay, you guys, this has been a journey. I know this video is long, but I wanted to give you every single detail because the regular gossip channels are going to give you the headline and run. I wanted to give you the layers, the strategy, the chess moves, the irony, and the bigger picture. Because this is not just a story about 2 famous women going at it. This is a story about the future of how lawsuits work in the age of artificial intelligence. It is a story about how a Grammy-winning rapper from the Bronx became the accidental face of a legal revolution. It is a story about how the woman who built her career on receipts got destroyed by fake ones. And it is a story about how sometimes the universe does serve karma on a beautifully engraved silver platter, with a side of attorney sanctions and a federal court docket as a garnish. The autopsy is not in yet on Tasha K's career. I'll say that. She might survive this. She might bounce back. Stranger things have happened. But the position she is in right now, with her own attorney publicly humiliated, with 25 pending violations, with a possible reinstatement of the full $4 million looming, with Cardi B's legal team operating like a Navy SEAL unit, and with the entire internet now aware that her defense literally relied on a robot lying, I have not seen anybody recover from a setup like that. Not in this lifetime. Maybe in that parallel universe she and Cardi are best friends. Earth 1 is not it. So hit the like button, hit subscribe, drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you Team Cardi? Are you, against all evidence and reason, somehow still Team Tasha? Are you Team Chad because honestly that man needs a hug and a malpractice insurance refresher? Do you think Cardi is going to push this all the way to a full reinstatement of the judgment? Do you think Tasha K is going to address it on her podcast? And if she does, do you think she's going to bring the smoke or play victim? Let me know in the comments because I read every single one of them, and I will be doing follow-ups as new filings come out, as new clips drop, as the next chapter of this absolutely unhinged saga unfolds. And to anyone out there thinking about defaming a celebrity, or signing an NDA you can't keep, or letting ChatGPT write your federal brief, please, I am begging you with love in my church voice, with my softest, kindest, most maternal tone, do not. Just do not. Go outside. Take a walk. Drink some water. Touch some grass. Call your mama. Pet a dog. Anything else. Because what just happened to Tasha K and Chad is going to happen to somebody else in the next 30 days, I guarantee it, and I do not want it to be you. Be safe out there, be smart out there, and stop letting robots write things you are not willing to read. That's all the smoke I got for today, and I appreciate every single one of you for sticking with me through this entire breakdown because I know it was a lot, but you guys deserve the full picture and not the watered-down version everybody else is going to give you. And that is exactly why this channel exists in the first place, to give you the layers, the strategy, the chess moves, the unspoken pieces, and the truth behind the headline. That's all the smoke I got for today, and I appreciate every single one of you for sticking with me through this entire breakdown because I know it was a lot, but you guys deserve the full picture and not the watered-down version everybody else is going to give you. And that is exactly why this channel exists in the first place, to give you the layers, the strategy, the chess moves, the unspoken pieces, and the truth behind the headline. That's all the smoke I got for today, and I appreciate every single one of you for sticking with me through this entire breakdown because I know it was a lot, but you guys deserve the full picture and not the watered-down version everybody else is going to give you. And that is exactly why this channel exists in the first place, to give you the layers, the strategy, the chess moves, the unspoken pieces, and the truth behind the headline. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.